Hello, YouTube and SRG Universe. This is I'm Done It's Over here again. I received my super exclusive Colt Cabana signed SRG competitor, and super excited about this. We've been seeing a lot of pictures pop up on the SRG group, so I am going to simply open it unboxing style here so everybody can see the contents of my Colt Cabana sent envelope. On top of that, I'm gonna, put this up on YouTube too, kind of bolster the channel, spread the love for SRG Super Show. I've been really getting into that. As you can see, I've got a nice little cage match mat here with the SRG logo. I'm getting set up for the Rising Star tournament that they're currently hosting. Very excited. I was the one to advance from my pod. Still really cool. All right, so here we go. We're gonna pull open the little plastic wrapper, very commonly seen on like card sleeves or whatever. So save these, that way you can, save them and do whatever you want for trades or whatever. There we go. The Colt Cabana signed submission finish. Colt Cabana signed Chicago Skyline grapple finish. Colt Cabana signed Flying Apple finish. And then the Colt Cabana card itself signed as well. I'm not sure if it's coming in super duper clear, but I'll go through and I'll read the effects just in case you're not familiar with it. The Colt Cabana's gimmick reads, when you stop a card, you may re-roll your next turn roll. Now, for those that are not familiar with SRG Universe on my YouTube channel here, it's basically you roll a dice that determines who plays, and you have 6 stats on the card. Those you should be able to see very clearly, ranging from 5 to 10. When you roll your dice, the dice will correspond, like the red is power, so if I had rolled power, it would be a 7 number. If the opponent rolls higher, they get to draw a card and play a card. So I've got the Colt Cabana card there. And that's how turns alternate. The person who wins the die roll wins the ability to draw and play a card. You've got 3 different card types, although these are just Colt Cabana signature finishes. So the other card types are lead, follow-up, and, well, finish. And then you have one of the 3 varieties, either the strike, which is yellow, grapple, which is blue, or purple, which is submission. So we're going to see what his Flying Apple finish strike does, and it has an ability that procs in the graveyard as well. Gives you +2 to your finish roll's agility and +1 to your strike. When this card is in your discard pile and you re-roll for your turn, you may shuffle this card back into your deck. So it's a great little recursion finish. That's the only way to win the game, is to hit one of your 3 finishes on your opponent, or, whatever stipulation matches may be. Grapple finish, Chicago Skyline. It's got +2 to your power, +1 to grapple. Your opponent discards 2 random cards from their hand. Shuffle 2 cards from your discard pile into your deck. So again, a great way to start recurring some more powerfully used cards and whatnot. And then his submission finish isn't really a submission at all, but it does hurt. I mean, ow. It's a Superman pin. So it's like the jackknife cover, but he completely follows through. So even though it's not necessarily a submission, it still could count as that. And it gives you a +1 to your technique, +2 to agility. And if you re-rolled your turn roll, your opponent gets 1 less breakout roll this turn. And what breakouts are is once you successfully play one of your finishes after having a lead and a follow-up in play, you're able to roll the die, and that rolls me a grapple. So then that would be Colt Cabana's 9 stat. Now your opponent has 3 chances to attempt to break out of the finish situation. So they would roll, they would have to hit whatever their 9 or higher stat is. So they would roll their agility. In Colt's case, that's a 5, so that's 1. Power is a 7, that's 2. So I need grapple or submission to hit for Colt to kick out of his own Superman pin. That technique, so that's not a kick out. I win the game. But if you had re-rolled for Colt's gimmick or whatever, your opponent would only be able to roll twice. So that's pretty cool. There's the signature Colt Cabana Superman pin sub finish, Chicago Skyline grapple finish, and the Flying Apple strike finish. Once again, this has been I'm Done It's Over. Big fan of the SRG card game. SRG Universe is a great community. I highly recommend y'all look into it, check it out. If you're a fan of wrestling, even in the slightest, this is you know, easily the game for you. I mean, yes, it has a dice rolling component, but that's also how you can call your matches back and forth. So you roll, I roll a power or whatever, my opponent rolls a technique. It looks like I'm doing an overpowering, let's say a test of strength or whatever, and then your opponent techniques out of that by doing that little kip up they're always so famous for doing, right into a hammerlock. I mean, you can call your own matches simply based on the die roll. Whether it allows you to play or not, that's a moot point. The whole point of this game is to call your actual matches. And win, lose, or draw, it's always been a great experience. Everybody I've played so far in the Rising Star event has really been great, and I do appreciate it. Thank you guys. I'm learning as I go. The experience is very welcomed. So, again, keep up the great work, SRG Universe. And to those of you that watch my YouTube, if you are not familiar with the SRG Super Show card game, look it up. You know, once you see it, you're not going to go back. It's brilliant. All right. IDIO out.